Mostly quiet day today. We've just been letting my wife rest. She is feeling quite a bit better. We did not go down to Tucson for the funeral. It didn't make any sense to try to push my wife that much. But the antibiotics are beginning to kick in towards the end of the day here. She's feeling better. I'm just outside here on the front porch because I'm bored. I'm bored of sitting at my desk and doing these. I'm bored of sitting on the back porch and doing these. It's not very practical to do them on the swing, mostly because the apartment complex behind me has always got some noisy people being noisy. So, apart from some street noises and the occasional neighbor coming out thinking I'm a nut, this is a good place. So, haven't done much today. I did, however, my headphones that I use for doing the podcast and doing my editing, you know, my general purpose headphones, over the ear style, have got a loose cable connection. Probably from me tripping over it, or the kids tripping over it on a regular basis. Or there's also this clip that hangs on the cable that gets caught and jags on things when you move. It gets caught on the table and pulls them. So I'm beginning to get crackling in them, and Costco had a really good deal on the Bose QC15 noise cancellation headphones. Now, I used to have a set of noise canceling headphones, some Sony ones. They were on the ear type, and they were okay. I mean, it is kind of amazing what noise canceling headphones can do. You put those on and you're like, wow, that's amazing. And I think one of our trips to Taiwan, I had them, and it makes a huge difference on the plane. I mean, if you are just when I'm on a plane for hours, what really bugs me is that every once in a while the noise stops for just 2 or 3 seconds, and every time it does it, it wakes me up and alerts me. It's as if my mind somehow cancels out the plane sound for just a second, and it freaks me out, frankly. I don't know whether you think for a second I'm going deaf or something. It does it every time I'm on a plane. I don't think it's because the plane has stopped the engines momentarily, so I'm going to assume that it's something the brain does to filter it out, but that it can't for most of the time. However, those Sonys were alright, but they broke after time, and I wasn't too ultimately happy with them in the long run. So I've avoided buying a new pair, but I needed a new pair of headphones, and so I got these Bose at Costco, which are kind of interesting. I'm going to have to, well, hang on, let's see what I can do here. So there are the headphones. They don't collapse, but they do turn, the earmuffs do turn 90 degrees so that they can fit in this rather large case, but I guess that would be good for packing it in my luggage, except of course I won't have it packed in my luggage. I'll be wearing it on the plane, so yeah, one thing I thought was really interesting about them was the cable here, which you probably can't see in the dark, actually comes out. Plump, there they go, the headphones. But they actually come out completely so that you can replace them, which would be great if the cable goes bad, assuming Bose doesn't sell them for $900 or some ridiculous amount. And it also allows them to have different types of cables. So for example, this one is suitable for an iPhone. So it's got the 3-pin plug, or the 3-conductor plug, and it also has a microphone in the volume control that hangs up, so just like an iPhone one. So you can use it for a phone call. So I'm looking forward to this for my next board call or committee call, or not really a board call, but sort of a committee or subcommittee or executive committee board. Again, you don't care which type of call it is, but when I'm on one of those great big long calls, the only thing is, compared to the Sonys, these are freakishly quiet. I mean, when you turn it on, the silence is almost painful. It's so weird. It's like going up in pressure. It feels to me like I've gone up in a plane or something, and I've got pressure on my ear, and it's blocking the sound. It is such an odd feeling, and that's when you're not listening to music. It's just turned on. I could see trying to sleep that way on the plane, just to shut out the plane noise. But then when you've got stuff going, it doesn't do that. So, well, it doesn't feel that way. It's still it is an odd situation. Anyway, I like them. I've been editing a podcast today, and they're quite good. The only thing I can see as a problem is they don't appear to have an auto off function. So when you turn them on, they stay on until the battery dies or you turn them off. So that's not good. And I haven't checked to see if they work in passive mode. That is, if the battery's dead, can you still hear music through them? And I suppose I should check that. But anyway, that's about it. I don't think there's much more light left for the day. So I'm going to at least end it for this segment. So I've done a little bit of more research, and I finished editing the podcast I was working on, and using these headphones, and I have determined a disappointing thing. It's not too unsurprising, but it's disappointing nonetheless, and that is they do not work in passive mode. So turn them off, you cannot hear anything at all through the headphones. You can't get the unadult. I mean, well, if you turn them off, you can hear everything going on around you, but you cannot hear any music or anything coming through. So that is unfortunate. Now, you see, I don't have the cables. I don't even have the cable in at the moment, but I do have it powered on because that's where the unit is, and I cannot hear any surrounding noise whatsoever. I can only hear my own voice through the resonance in my skull. It's a very odd feeling, and I have no idea whether I like shouting at you or what, but I could totally fall asleep on an airplane like this if I didn't hear. In fact, I'm getting tired already. I guess that's because it's so silent and peaceful in here. Anyway, so this time for sure, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll talk to you next time on Tedium Unlimited.